All right, Varun, why don't we begin? Welcome everyone to ATS Labs 2022 Demo Day. Just a quick introduction. My name is Robin Chan. I am the Marketing and Growth Manager here at Access to Success and ATS Labs. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional lands we are joining from via this virtual platform. I am joining this event from Toronto, which is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. Let's continue to recognize and deeply appreciate the historic connection of Indigenous peoples to this place as we move forward in the spirit of reconciliation. Just a few housekeeping items. This event is being recorded and will be uploaded shortly after on our YouTube channel. If you do require live captions, that is available on the bottom Zoom menu screen. And of course, we want everyone to be respectful of the presenters. So if you are not talking, please keep your Zoom muted. And now I'm going to pass it off to our founder and president of Access to Success and ATS Labs. Welcome, Varun Chandak.
Thanks, Robin. Hi, everybody. My name is Varun Chandak, and I'm the founder of Access to Success and ATS Labs. And I am so excited to welcome all of you today. As all of you already know, ATS Labs is Canada's first accelerator for accessibility, mental health, and aging tech startups. The entire program started because I had been working with a lot of startup founders in the accessibility space in Canada, and they told me that there is a lot of support available in Canada, but there's something missing in the accessibility space specifically. So that's what we wanted to set out to do. We wanted to create something that is designed to help startups that are serving people with disabilities get big fast. Everything that we do was designed with startups in the accessibility space in mind. So to begin with, in 2019, we did a pilot project because we wanted to see if there is in fact a demand or a need for a program such as this. And that's what ended up happening. It was our first and only in-person program, and it turned into a massive, massive success. Based on the feedback that we received from founders in that first program, we had the ATS Labs 2021 virtual 3-month accelerator, which was our first full-fledged 3-month accelerator, immediately after followed by our 2022 ATS Labs accelerator. Over these years, we've been working hard to try and create a lot of resources, a lot of partnerships that are again designed specifically to help startups in the accessibility space. So with that in mind, we were actually a founding member of the Inclusive Innovation Network, which is a global alliance of disability tech accelerators, innovators, and investors. Earlier this year, we were also admitted into the Techstars Accelerate Equity Program, which is again intended to help entrepreneurs in this space. And most recently, just last month, it was announced at the Clinton Global Summit that a Disability Moonshot Accelerator Initiative with the partnership of SmartJob. This Disability Moonshot Accelerator Initiative is going to fund 10 disability tech accelerators around the world with $10 million. And these 10 accelerators will come together to support 220 startups in a year. And ATS Labs is part of this program. So with everything that we're doing, what about the actual programming itself? Well, over the 3 cohorts that we have done so far, participants in our programs have attended over 100 masterclasses hosted by more than 130 speakers around the world. The impact of all of this work is that the 30+ startups that we have supported to date have received over $12 million in funding, both equity and non-dilutive, and they have generated over $1 million in revenues. Most importantly, these startups have supported over 50,000 people with disabilities to date. That's 50,000 people with disabilities who have benefited directly as a result of the work done by these startups. It's these 50,000 people with disabilities and one baby. I'm really happy to share that just this past weekend, one of the founders in our current program, Emma Brown, had a baby. So congratulations, Emma. We're all so happy for you. Now, I did want to share that all of the work that we're doing would not be possible without the support of our proud sponsors, CIBC and our friends at Dentons. So thank you, CIBC and Dentons, for everything that you're doing to support this work. And that brings us to ATS Labs 2022. We've got 10 absolutely incredible startups presenting here today. They range across neurotech, hair tech, care tech, wearables, B2B SaaS platforms, artificial intelligence. And I know now it's sounding like I'm just throwing a lot of buzzwords at you, just all of the latest. The only thing that is probably missing now is Web3. But I promise you that every startup here active in the space that they're in is doing something incredibly meaningful and incredibly impactful. And I'm so excited for you to hear from them today, which brings me neatly to today's pictures. So the format of today's program is following which they will have one question. But here's the best part. Instead of us just making a question to ask, we want you to submit questions for each one of these founders in the chat. Now I will serve as a moderator and select you. Over the last 3.5 months, we put these founders through the ringer. They are ready for you. So bring it on. It's open networking at the end of the pitches, so don't go away at the end, after the last pitch. So stick around for that one because that's a chance to actually speak with the people, with the teams behind these amazing startups. Well, that's pretty much it. So let's go to the Beeline video.
Good morning. I'm the guinea pig. I'm going to try to share my screen here. Please, somebody let me know if you can see it.
Looks good.
Great. My name is Nick, and I'm the founder of Beeline Reader. At Beeline, we help our partners to do well while also doing good with technology. What our technology does is it improves the accessibility of text and also makes it more engaging. And this improves both accessibility and important metrics like revenue. Let me show you how it works. Instead of displaying text in monochrome, we reformat text using color gradients that pull your eyes through the text. I'll give you a minute so you can try it for yourself. As you can see, the color at the end of one line, and I've just switched the colors here for you, pulls your eyes from the end of one line to the beginning of the next because the color matches up. This makes reading more cognitively efficient. And it's incredibly helpful for many people with reading challenges. For some people, it allows them to read like never before. And it helps students to read and learn and reach their potential. Beeline is especially helpful for people with dyslexia or ADHD, as well as vision impairments, and also some conditions like Parkinson's or multiple sclerosis. But Beeline is also helpful for people who don't identify as having reading challenges, people who just have a lot to read and want to be able to read more quickly. Our technology works in any language and is used around the world, millions of times every month. And our patented technology has a huge impact, and that's why we've won social impact awards from MIT Solve, from Stanford, and even from the United Nations. So how do people use Beeline? Well, we built browser plugins and document converters that people can download, but our technology has also been adopted by reading platforms like this e-textbook platform that baked in the Beeline feature to make their platform more accessible. We have great partners across education like Blackboard, MIT Press, and we're just launching a news media pilot with our first partner, LAist, going live last week and more exciting news to come. Our partners love Beeline because it helps them do good while doing well. In addition to improving the accessibility of their platform, we also help them improve key metrics. That e-textbook platform I just showed you, they found that people reading with Beeline read 68% longer on their platform. And importantly, they convert from free to paid at a 38% higher rate. And many, many people are using Beeline on their platform. Nearly half of the readers are using Beeline to read more efficiently. Beeline is proof that accessibility isn't just good for business. It can be great for business. And we'd love to talk with you more during the conversations after the presentations today. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. That was great, right on time. Folks, question for Nick from Beeline Reader. I'll pause for a couple seconds if anybody wants to submit a question in the chat. I'm going to just ask everybody to please submit your questions in the chat, and I will serve as the moderator, please. I see a few people typing, so I'm going to pause for a second. Veronica asks, does this have application for people who are colorblind?
Very good question. As it happens, my co-founder is colorblind, and so we have great experience with this. The most common type of colorblindness is red-green colorblindness. It affects about 9% of men. And our technology works just fine for folks with colorblindness of this nature because you can just tune the colors to be ones that are visually distinct for you. So in all of our tools, the user can select the background color and the foreground colors so that they're visually distinct. So if you're colorblind, you can just choose colors that are visually distinct for your particular visual system.
My favorite answers are when people with disabilities are directly involved. And I'm seeing a lot of more questions come in. So the networking session is going to be your chance, folks, to ask Nick all of these really good questions. Thank you, Nick. Next,
thank you.
Let's go to Deaf AI.
Do you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead, Mehdi.
Sense of hearing is amazing. Most of the time, we take it for granted. We at Deaf AI, we're going to serve deaf people by addressing the problem that in the age of communication, we don't have a proper means of communication for deaf people. Technology is growing so fast, but it's not inclusive enough for them. The pandemic is the best example that they face lots of challenges. For the businesses, that's a regulation that they have to be accessible to these people. But sign language services is very expensive. And it's so hard to find sign language interpreters because we just have 10,000 certified sign language interpreter in North America. Now here is our idea. We are going to make a transition from human-based services in sign language to the AI-based services in sign language by developing AI-based sign language interpreters. As a result, we expect that sign language services would be available, affordable, and accessible to the service users and service providers. Now, so the only option for the deaf people when they watch YouTube or any other streaming videos is subtitle. We are going to diversify options for them. Not only subtitle, but also our virtual avatar appears on the corner of the screen for real-time translation of voice into the sign language. Now the market. So the current market that is $7.6 billion is for all sign language interpreting services. That is a human-based services. We are going to expand these markets. We are going to create new markets from sign detector, the first market, and then airport terminals, and then sports sector. Now let's talk about sign detector. So most of these platforms like Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams, all of these platforms have a voice detector. But just picture this, there's a group of deaf students that they have an online class. They don't communicate vocally. They communicate through sign language, they are muted. So the only option for them is nothing actually. We develop sign detector instead of voice detector. The moment they start to communicate to sign language, we would be able to detect them. Here is a proof of concept that we developed at the University of Toronto. We would be able to detect who is signing and who is not signing. Then we can make an equal experience for them. Now the second product for us is the application for the airport. We will be able to make a translation of all flight announcement into the AS. So for each flight announcement, our AI-based flight announcer appear on the screen for translation of the flight announcement into the AS. We do have a letter of intent from Ontario International Airport in California. So here is our team. We are a small team, include AI scientists and also dev engineer, and also we are a member of incubators. We have a good set of advisors, including dev business managers and also AI scientists.
Thank you, Mehdi. That's great. Thank you. questions for Mehdi from Deaf AI. I'm going to pause again for a second, and folks, feel free to send in questions even during the presentations. Any questions? I know what I want to ask. So Mehdi, while I wait for people to send in their questions, can you tell us a little bit about how this is being developed with the deaf community directly? Are you working with the deaf community to create this? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, sure. So one of our team members, she's a deaf engineer. She knows machine learning. She knows ASL, and she has a great network with their social buddies. And also we have our connection. One of our advisor, she's a deaf business woman, and she has a network in Texas. She helped us to connect with Garland University. So yeah, we do have a network with deaf communities.
Wonderful.
Actually, we co-developed this technology with them.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you, Mehdi. Next, let's go to Digitally Accessible.
Thanks, Brian. So I have to can I present, please?
Mehdi, can you stop screen sharing?
Sorry for that. Yes.
No worries. All right.
Excellent.
Over to you.
Thank you so much. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, it's yeah, there we go. Looks good.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Hi, we're Digitally Accessible. We specialize in delivering SaaS solutions to simplify digital accessibility and empower all digital businesses. 30% of users accessing the digital world experience obstacles due to content not being accessible. Inaccessible content affects people with disabilities, such as visual, auditory, motor, and cognitive, among others. This is a real problem for organizations as they are not able to meet new and existing compliance mandated due to lack of expertise, improper remediation, complex project management, or challenges of data loss or distributed teams. Because of this, organizations are at risk of missteps and can cost money in reward, fines, or litigation. Digital Accessible has created a solution called DaaS, or Digital Accessibility as a Service. DaaS is an integrated combination of software, subscription solutions, and accessibility framework, all available via our cloud-based accessibility platform, Align. Align helps organizations to simplify compliance and reporting, provides a cost-effective implementation, and allows a complete lifecycle management for all digital accessibility projects. Align is a standalone cloud platform that enables organizations to manage their digital accessibility projects by leveraging built-in functionalities such as wireframe annotations, accessibility tickets, communications, and task management, as well as features such as dashboards, roadmaps, accessibility knowledge base, and code libraries. Our go-to-market strategy is divided into 4 main categories. First one is ID, our target customer in regulatory industries such as education, insurance assurance, trade unions, and financial institutions. ID, our key markets in regulatory pressure regions like the US and Canada. Expand within enterprise clients. This really includes a lot of our internal development teams as well as development vendor networks. And we want to expand in our futures. This includes e-training, guided testing, accessibility ticket creation, schedule automation, and social and usability accessibility testing. By following our go-to-market strategy, we have been able to add key clients in industries. For instance, Deloitte, George Brown, Centennial College, Brookfield Residential, Phillips Morris International, Alliance, and the cooperators are some of the clients that we're working for. Our ask is a pre-seed raise. So far, our company has been bootstrapped with funding from grants from the government. This has taken us to where we are today, but we are hoping to raise money to accelerate our expansion to the US market, expedite our engineering efforts, and increase customer acquisitions. We can do this by, in terms of, we can negotiate the terms, and it could include,
Thank you. Thank you, Juan. This is great. Appreciate this. Questions for Juan. While I invite questions, everybody seems to be taking a second to think of some questions. One question for you: what's your competitive advantage here? What's the competitive edge? There's a lot going on in the digital accessibility space. So what makes you different?
Yes, correct. So what we have done is have created a system that integrates all the accessibility needs under one roof. So organizations don't have to manage their projects out of Jira or a Word document or Excel. Everything can be under one roof and then exported to multiple places. That way, if they need to, they can always reflect 3, 6, or 7 months from now and see what was done or create VPATs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, as always, keep sending in questions for our founders here. And in the meantime, let's go to the next presenter, Dynamic Memory Solutions, or HippoCamera.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Loud and
Wonderful.
clear, and we can see your screen.
Terrific. I'm Morgan Berenz, and I'm a neuroscience professor and Canada Research Chair at the University of Toronto, as well as the CEO and co-founder of Dynamic Memory Solutions. I lead a lab devoted to understanding how the brain supports memory. And for the better part of the last 7 years, we have been working to develop a digital reminiscence platform that mimics what the brain is doing when we first form a memory. In the brain, there's a structure called the hippocampus that is essential for memory. And unfortunately, the hippocampus atrophies with age and dementia, impairing our memory for the events of our lives. Our memories make us who we are as people, and so memory loss can lead to a loss of identity and a loss of confidence. With over 1/3 of retired individuals reporting dementia as one of their greatest fears, combined with an aging baby boomer generation, there is a huge market for memory solutions. The good news is that lifestyle changes can prevent or delay dementia, but the time to intervene is before the disease starts and irreversible brain damage has occurred. Our company's mission is to develop science-based, scalable interventions that preserve memory. We took our expertise as memory scientists and built a digital reminiscence platform based on how the brain works. HippoCamera is a patented solution that uses smartphone technology to mimic how the hippocampus supports memory. HippoCamera is a fun and easy to use tool that works on any smartphone or tablet. Its 2 functions allow users to record and replay life events using best practices in learning science. And this makes it different from using your smartphone to capture videos in the regular way. Our guided recording process means that memory encoding is intentional. That is, we force our users to stop and pay attention to the events of their lives. And our curated replay sessions help users study their memories using best practices in learning science. Our lab-based studies and commercial field trials show robust and long-lasting memory gains with more than a 50% boost in memory for event details. fMRI showed enhanced brain activity in the hippocampus, and HippoCamera led to greater memory gains than standard smartphone use. HippoCamera is the only validated solution on the market that directly targets memory for everyday events. We have 4 channels to go to market. First, we will pursue strategic partnerships. Second, we will partner with institutions to provide innovative reminiscence programs. Third, we will work with insurers and healthcare providers with large-scale digital platforms. And finally, we will go direct to consumer. Our team brings together award-winning memory scientists from 3 Tier 1 universities, the University of Toronto, Johns Hopkins, and Florida State. And we bring a group of business professionals with a track record of health company successes. We've received over $1 million in grant funding and successfully completed 2 commercial pilots. We've also received a lot of organic media coverage. There are so few accessible and effective memory rehabilitation tools out there. And so when we have one that works, it generates a lot of interest and a lot of hope. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Morgan. There's a question in the chat. Will this solution assist individuals affected by episodic disabilities rather than just the aging targets?
Well, The aging, yes, absolutely. We designed it based on how the hippocampus works. So any disorder which affects the hippocampus will benefit from this. And that ranges from sleep deprivation to stress to anoxic injury to menopause. So there is absolutely a huge market. And even for just healthy aging or anybody who wishes to better remember their lives can benefit from HippoCamera.
Thank you, Morgan. I see another question for you, but we're going to have to wait for networking for that one. Thank
Terrific.
you. Next, iStem.
Hey, can you please stop your screen share so that I can share my screen?
Shakil, go ahead. You can share. You should be able to share your screen.
Can you see my screen now?
We can, yes. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Shakul, and I'm the co-founder of iStem. Before getting into the details of what we do at iStem, I quickly want to discuss with you my co-founder, Karthik's story. Just like myself, Karthik is also blind and grew up in India. Karthik could not take his national entrance examination due to document inaccessibility, preventing him to pursue engineering within the country. Fortunately, he could complete his education in US at Stanford, but he soon realized that US was not much better with accessibility either. The university disability offices were understaffed, and getting books in accessible format took weeks and even an entire semester in some cases. There was a huge or significant inequity across disability offices. This is when we started to think about iStem. At iStem, we are solving the problem of unequal access and employment opportunities for people with disabilities, coupled with increasing litigation for non-compliance. These are some of the examples of inaccessible documents and how they would read with a screen reader, which is a software that blind people use to navigate through the computer. The image that you see right now is a scanned document, which is not at all read by the screen reader. I'm showing to you an inaccessible table right now. So the problem is, if this table is not represented correctly, the screen reader would read it as a blob of text, as if it was a paragraph. And hence, it makes no sense to someone who uses the screen reader. Finally, mathematics, which, if not handled correctly, would read as gibberish by the screen reader. Talking about our solution, we provide a service that converts inaccessible content into accessible format for people with disabilities that they can access using the assistive text, taking into account all of what that I have shown you, used by individuals as well as organizational customers. We do not only extract text from the document or images, but also retain the original layout, which is very crucial to understand a document. So what you see right now is the entire process using iStem tool. This is how you convert an inaccessible content into accessible format using iStem technology. These are some of the output files that you see after converted from iStem and other tools available in the market. Talking about our traction, more than 3,000 people with disability use our product on a daily basis to access their content, including 6 organizational customers such as UN, Washington State, Intel, and Government of India, saving almost 70% of time on document remediation. Right now, we are looking for support. We are looking for business mentorship to support and strengthen our strategy. We are also looking to potential partnerships that can help us accelerate our growth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shakil. Great timing. So question for you. Are you primarily India-based, or do you have a North American presence as well?
No. Yeah, we are working in North America for now.
Okay.
We are working with the state government of Washington.
I see. Okay, great. And what's your just very quickly, what's your revenue model?
So basically, there are 2 revenue models. One, organizations can actually take the software, the tool that we have developed as SaaS, and remediate the document using that tool. 2, if they don't think that they have a team which can remediate a document, they can outsource the document entirely to us, and we can do the end-to-end conversion with them 100% of this.
Thank you. You can stop screen sharing now. Thanks. Okay, next, let's go to Pearl Interactives. Kevin, you're on mute.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gavin Brower, and I'm the CEO of Pearl Interactives. We help kids access wellness through play. I'm guessing that many of you have kids. While you're thinking of your kid, imagine they had to do physical therapy. It was ongoing with no end in sight, and you are the one responsible for getting them to do it. How much fun would that be? In fact, 50 to 80% of prescribed physical therapy is done at home. The current standard of care is a piece of paper, and kids are not seeing results. Now, imagine there was a video game that made therapy fun. At the same time, their physical therapist would know that your kid was following their program at home. This game exists, and it's available now. It was originally developed and proven at Holland Bloorview, Canada's largest hospital for kids rehabilitation. Kids love it, they get results, and we're ready to share it with the world. We are playing in a very big market, and we have a practical plan. We are starting with the customers who have the highest need, 664,000 kids in North America with cerebral palsy and other neuromotor disabilities. Next, we'll expand our market to include the 13 million kids with less severe disabilities. Later, we will go after the broader wellness gaming market. By focusing on the disabilities market, we will leverage our competitive advantage to win at the mass market. Boodle Blast is purchased by clinics for $2,500. This includes one system to be used in the clinic and a second system to be loaned to kids for use at home. Clinics buy additional home units to give access to more kids. Parents can also purchase and in the future rent a home system for themselves. Our competitors, simply put, are just less fun. The Wii is the most common video gaming clinics today, but it is designed for entertainment and creates too many barriers for kids with disabilities. We are the only game that's a lot of fun and guarantees good quality movements. I have 10 years of startup experience, an MBA, and a degree in kinesiology and psychology. I am supported by an amazing team. Enza is our board chair and CFO at Holland Bloorview. Elaine, Ajmal, and Alexander are all employed at Holland Bloorview. They built our games and they make sure that kids get results. We've raised $165,000, and this is going to get us to our first 30 clinics. We're currently raising an additional $250. Next, we expect to raise another $385 within 12 months. In terms of use of funds, 2/3 will go towards market development, about 28% will improve our products, and overhead is 6%. My email address is gavin@pearlinteractives.com, and I would love to speak with you.
Thank you, Gavin. This is fantastic. So we have a question asking if Pearl is a hardware and or a software system, and if it can be purchased independently.
So our IP is all software. We use hardware devices. The main device we use is called an Orbeck Percy. More of you will be familiar with the Microsoft Kinect, which it's very similar to. So it's a 3D tracking camera. We also have other games that are available for the iPad.
Okay, so the main thing you need to purchase the device that you mentioned to use the games?
Yeah, right now it's kind of like if you think about PlayStation, if we assume we were like making PlayStation games, but nobody had a PlayStation today. So we're selling the hardware that you need with our games embedded.
Brilliant. Thank you, Gavin. This was great. Okay, thank you. I'm loving the questions coming in. These are great. Next, let's go to Prova Innovations. Matthew, yeah, there we go.
Am I off mute? Everyone can hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Perfect. Okay. Imagine if your ability to walk again was within stride. My name is Matthew Rosado, and my company is Prova Innovations. Prova is a medtech company focused on improving mobility for both children and adults. My son, Samuel, was born with cerebral palsy. I started this company to address his mobility challenges and have since advanced the technology to help others with osteoarthritis, dementia, MS, stroke, and Parkinson's disease. Prova is going to change the standard of care for gait rehabilitation done in the home so that he, along with millions of others, can recover quicker and walk to the best of their abilities. Athletes may be born with talent, but they train to be the best. The problem with traditional gait rehabilitation is that we don't do it often enough. We learn movement through continual practice and repetition. Jordan was one of the best because he trained 8 hours a day. Every time we repeat a movement, we strengthen a neural pathway in the brain. This is what's known as neuroplasticity. Traditional gait rehabilitation requires expensive motion capture equipment and highly trained therapists, and is usually only offered once a week at best. But the key to successful outcomes is to practice these movements at home in order to ingrain them. It was frustrating for me to see my therapist correct his gait, only to see him forget what he learned by the time we got to the parking lot. Let me introduce you to Within Stride. It's the world's first mobile gait lab and virtual trainer on the go. During active daily living, our patented technology measures the foot's position and delivers real-time sensory cues in the form of gentle vibrations or biofeedback, guiding the foot into positions, teaching corrected form demonstrated to improve joint health. The potential benefits can be tremendous. In the case of osteoarthritis, which affects over 36 million individuals in North America, pain management is limited until eventual surgery at the average age of 70. However, teaching an improved form of walking can slow the progression of the disease by decades. The socioeconomic benefit of our approach has a potential savings of over $40,000 per patient. You'll be able to pick up Within Stride from one of our accredited clinics. Next year, we plan to introduce products in 5 LHINs in Ontario, followed by the rest of the country and branching out to the US by 2026. Within Stride is fully covered under Medicaid in the US, and in Canada, most private insurers should cover up to 50%. The device will be priced comparable to that of a low-cost cell phone. Within Stride is positioned in the sweet spot between traditional in-clinic physical therapy and facilities with expensive motion capture gait equipment. We differentiate in that our interventional therapy can be done during everyday activity. We put together a dynamite team of researchers, scientists, and engineers. Our advisors are made up of surgeons, directors of centers of excellence, and serial entrepreneurs. We've won a number of awards. We have an expanding IP portfolio and are planning fully funded clinical trials beginning this winter. We are looking to close out our bridge round of financing. We've secured over $950K and are looking for value-added strategic partners to join us on our journey. This is Prova Innovations, and we are providing the next step.
Right on time, Matthew. That's perfect. Thank you. While I wait for questions to come in, quick question for you. Can this go beyond gait training to athletes or runners?
It can, but I think for us, we position Prova to be a medical device specifically because I feel like gait trackers in general and wearables is a race to the bottom in terms of commoditization. There are a number of products that are out there. They're retailing quite cheaply. Our technology works a little bit differently in that it's specific use case for interventional therapy. We apply cueing in such a way that it improves the motions that improve joint health.
Thank you. Super quick follow-up. Does it need medical approval?
Sorry, what's that? Say that one more time.
Does it need medical approval?
Yeah, so it'll be a class 1 device for research purposes and for health and wellness, and a class 2 medical device in Health Canada as well as the FDA.
Wonderful. Thank you, Matthew. This was fantastic. Okay, let's go to our penultimate presenter, singular hearing.
You share going here.
You should be able to share, Bruce. There we go.
Yeah, that's working. And I hope these Zoom controls are out of the way. Okay. Hi, I'm Bruce Sharp, CEO of Singular Hearing. We help people stay connected by making it easier to hear speech and background noise, the sort of ambient sound you have in restaurants, coffee shops, family gatherings. This is the most common complaint for anyone who has any degree of hearing loss, and hearing aids don't solve the problem. So unfortunately, the most common response is just to avoid such situations, but that leads to social isolation and all the bad things that come from that. So what's new, and why can we do something about this now? It's the emergence of deep learning, which is a form of artificial intelligence. It gives us new ways to handle noise by letting us separate speech from noise. We've taken these ideas to create our first product called Heard That, which is a smartphone app. And the idea is you put your phone on the table in front of you at the restaurant. It listens to all this noisy surroundings, does the magic of AI on the phone. It's all done on the phone, nothing goes to the cloud, and then sends clean speech to your ears, direct to your hearing aids, implants, or just ordinary earbuds, headphones, whatever you've got. So this is a B2C model. People go to the App Store to get it, and our business model is to sell subscriptions. Let me just play a few seconds for you. Hope this works over Zoom to give you a sense of what it can do. Here's the before and after.
Finding other people talk and so on. Move it to the right, and you'll get the output from Heard That. It listens to this jumble.
So that came through. The difference is dramatic. It improves intelligibility, and just as importantly, reduces listening effort. This has been confirmed by hundreds of interactions with users, as well as objective measures we've done with NRC. The market for hearing assistance is very complicated, and everyone says they're doing AI. So what's different about us is we're the only ones doing this deep learning technique on mobile devices with a specific intention of doing speech enhancements. And this gives us many advantages in terms of affordability and effectiveness, and you won't see these algorithms on wearable devices anytime soon. The market opportunity reflects the fact that the problem is very widespread. We have an immediately available market in the US alone of $200 million and a total market of over $3 billion around the world. I'm an experienced entrepreneur, had a successful exit with my last company. We're using funds from that to fund the development of Heard That, along with lots of IRAP and SHRED money. We have a world-class team of AI mobile engineers. All the IP has been developed in-house and we own it. We just completed a pre-release period and we're now in a full release. We're looking to expand to B2B and we're looking for partners and business development help. That's the Heard That story. We're doing something completely new for helping people stay connected.
Thank you, Bruce. The demo did come up for me. Hopefully it came up for others as well. I can see some people nodding, so that's great.
Great.
So question for you there. What's the go-to-market strategy here, especially if you're targeting primarily B2C channels right now?
Yeah, it's sort of all the usual things you do for an app. So there's paid acquisition. There's various ways of looking for virality. But that's one of the partnerships we're looking for is both sales channels and partners like hospitality venues that we can work with to have the app available and raise awareness through that way.
Thank you. Can this work in lecture hall settings for students, or is it designed for more of a small group format?
It's not especially designed for really distant talkers in speech, but you can certainly use it with inexpensive external microphones that you can just plug right into the phone, and they're wireless, and you can put the mic up at where the prof is talking, that sort of thing. So you can definitely use it for that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bruce. And with that, let's go to our final presenter, Wimble.
Can you just let me know once you can see my slides?
I can.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's 11 p.m. on a Tuesday and my phone rings. And I know at that time of night is my brother who has a physical disability calling because something unexpected has come up and he needs some extra help. The 10-minute walk to his apartment provides a perfect opportunity to reflect on the lack of on-demand care options for 1.6 million individuals across Canada who rely on some form of attendant care. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kebby Brown, and I'm the Managing Director of Wimble Care, and I'm here to tell you how we are creating a safety net of on-demand care for individuals like my brother, or maybe even loved ones in your life too. Over the next 3 minutes, we invite everyone to think about how a strategic partnership with Wimble would help make this vision a reality. Currently, there are 4 channels to home care in Canada for independent adults: supportive housing, in-community care, self-managed care, and support from family or friend attendants. However, none provide an all-encompassing solution where people can get their needs reliably met where they are and when they want. We are building a platform that connects people in need of personal care with attendants in their area on demand. Think Uber for attendants. Our two-sided marketplace will connect qualified caregivers with individuals, employers, venues, and more, and doing so in a way that infuses joy back into personal care, embracing the human experience with humor and trying to have some fun along the way. Through the dedicated backing of our angel investor and a team of people who are determined to close these gaps, we are poised to help individuals and partner organizations take advantage of this perfect storm of conditions so we can quickly scale the $650 billion care economy. Two-sided marketplace platforms have existed for over a decade. Best practices for trust and safety are now well established. Since 2019, several federal government funding commitments have been made to improve accessibility and inclusion. And we're all familiar with the waves on this graph that represent how the COVID-19 pandemic has raised public awareness of the massive gaps in our existing care system. The time is now to make a safety net widely available for a truly inclusive society. We are currently early in phase 1 of our go-to-market strategy, with our beta now live in Ottawa. Our B2C marketplace pilot has 5 clients and 2 attendants onboarded and counting, and we are trialing our B2B events model in partnership with the Learn to Wheelchair Curl program at a local athletics facility. These partnerships will fuel demand on the marketplace side and enable us to increase our service offerings as we build trust within the community and expand our presence to larger venues, giving everyone peace of mind knowing that wherever you are and whatever you need, Wimble will be there to assist. We are currently seeking strategic partners who are keen to be on the leading edge of truly inclusive and accessible events, expert advisors with home care agency or rehab facility experience, and to continue our customer discovery journey with insurance companies and employers to inform subscription models and pricing. Thank you so much to everyone for your time today. Look forward to connecting with anyone with whom our mission resonates and welcome your questions.
Thank you, Kevi. Do the caregivers need to have any sort of qualifications such as personal support workers or nurse?
That's a great question. So that's actually been our largest hurdle, I would say, so far, and it's taking our pilot a little bit longer to launch because we are being very diligent with our selection on the caregiver side. We're building a marketplace, so on the demand side is individuals with physical disabilities, and our supply side is people who can provide this care. We don't require PSW certification. However, we require everything that you can see on the screen to ensure that the people we're sending to provide this care have the necessary background checks.
Thank you. And that brings us to the end of the pitches section of today's conversation. Thank you, Gaby. You can start screen sharing now. Wonderful. So this hopefully was fascinating for everybody here. I want to thank every single one of the startups here, the founders here. I may be a little bit biased, but having worked with every single one of you so closely over the last 3.5 months, one, I can see how far you've come, how much things have changed. That's fantastic to see that. Second, you can see your dedication and your passion. And 3, I'm just so excited for where you're headed, for every single one of you. So congratulations on everything that you're doing, and congrats on an amazing series of presentations today. For everybody here, before we go to the networking session today, I want to invite everyone to please provide your feedback. We're big on feedback. I think our founders here have a little bit of an idea about how big we are on feedback. To give the rest of you an idea, over the last 2 cohorts that we have run, our participants have submitted our feedback form more than 300 times. We're serious about collecting feedback. So I hope that all of you, the attendees here today, will take a few seconds to send some feedback for us. And I know a lot of you would have to head out. So before you do head out, ahead of the networking session, I wanted to put up our contact information. So we invite all of you to reach out to us if you need to talk to us. Our email is contact@accesstosuccess.ca. We are on Twitter and on LinkedIn by that name, so feel free to reach out at any time.